Only Bands. What up, T? Kales, Brandon. Dead Stock, DMV the sponsor. Yeah. Only Bands, only Bands. Better make sure you tune in to the part, yeah. Only Bands, only Bands. They got them crypto conversations going hard, yeah. Only Bands, only Bands. Easy girls dropping out for on the daily. Only Bands, only Bands. Got that new drip going crazy.
Welcome back to another episode of the Only Bands podcast. Today I got not one guest, but I got three guests. I got Turbo Jetson, I got DK, I got Nafis. We got Canada's best rappers, crypto gurus, athletes, film, all in one group. If you guys want to go around, I'm gonna start with Turbo Jetson, because I'm gonna just say you the star of the group. If you could just give a little background about yourself and what you do and who you are.
For sure, bro. My name is Turbo, bro. I'm from Canada. I'm a professional football player first. After that, I kind of branched into music. Music's always been something that I love. So my boy right here, DK, we kind of came together on some like-minded stuff, started making music, and that's kind of where the ball started rolling. Through all that stuff, obviously, I learned about crypto and stuff. I linked up with my homie Nafis, and just being able to have a good mentor like at my fingertip length. You know what I mean? It helped me a lot with the process of just learning about crypto and diving into investments and stuff like that. I'm just trying to educate myself more and more as time goes on, and just make as much money as I can and as much smart investments as I possibly can. You know what I mean? I feel like investments are a cheat code to the point where I want to get to the point where my money's just making money constantly. You know what I mean? I want to be able to have a good life and make my money work for me. So that's basically where I'm at.
It sounds like you a dividend investor.
And I be trying to do some stuff, bro. Not too many things, but I just be trying to make smart investments that I know are safe and stuff like that.
Turbo be staking.
Yeah, I was staking for a little while.
Be staking for a little while. You unstake? Everything unstake?
Yeah, right now.
It all?
Not all of it. It's still a little bit in there, but for the most part, yeah.
Can y'all explain staking for people that don't know what it is?
Well, you want to handle this? Because you can definitely give a better explanation.
Yeah. So staking, for anybody who was listening, is the equivalent of dividend getting paid out in dividends in crypto. It's the easiest way of explaining it to people that know layman's terms. So if you don't know what dividends are, it's by investing in something and getting paid a royalty for owning the asset in a simple way. Now in crypto, though, staking goes a lot different and it goes a lot deeper, because the true meaning of staking with crypto is actually a way of how crypto is being created. There's only two ways that crypto is created. It's either mined or it's staked, proof of stake or proof of work. And staking has been a way to also be able to validate transactions on the blockchain, make sure that you know what's up, and those networks then go ahead and provide you royalties for it. But there's been a whole bunch of stuff over this last little bit here where people use the terminology staking and they stole people's money and took people's money because of that terminology without people understanding really what it meant. And that was that Voyager, that's your, Celsius. That's when you go to exchanges, not decentralized staking platforms, but centralized platforms offering staking, putting people at risk because they give you that appeal. Hey, give us your money. We're going to give you these returns. And because people are seeing more marketing from those companies because they're centralized and not decentralized, they trusted it, and it also came back and bit them in the ass. So that's essentially what staking is, and a little bit of where you need to know about it to know what's right on it or what's wrong on it.
So I got a question, and this kind of like perplexes me, right? Because you got centralized exchanges, and of course, that's kind of like your Coinbases, your Crypto.coms, rest in peace to FTX. And then you got your decentralized stuff, which basically puts you in full control of your money. So, like, you have a lot of pro traders that, let's say you trade like $200,000 or $300,000 and whatnot. Like, I feel like there needs to be some type of comfort in being able to put your money on an exchange and be able to make these type of trades without having to pull your money every 2 seconds in order
Right.
for crypto to actually like go somewhere. Like, what are y'all thoughts on that?
Well, TJ, you already know this, bro, because you do a little bit of sports betting, and it's like imagine you sports betting with the bad bookie, right? That wouldn't make sense.
But the bad bookies are supposed to be the the most trusted bookies. Like I feel like crypto, and I love crypto, but I feel like you can't trust your money on the exchange. But then the responsibility comes all on you, and like most humans aren't the most responsible.
Right.
And if you do one wrong thing, you lose your money to a bad link, or you click too many times. So like, I don't know
That's
what is a normie, as they say, or a normal person supposed to do, or where they supposed to feel safe at.
Well, really for them, bro. If you talk about just the aspect of trading crypto, real crypto enthusiasts, real blockchain, and people not only that are heavily invested in it and are doing that are actually against trading crypto because obviously now you're coming and where do you trade crypto? You're not trading it with real liquidity providers like banks, like the foreign exchange market or anything like that. You're trading it with an exchange, a company that's willing to take your bet and saying we're going to give you leverage. And the moment leverage comes along, there needs to be something that could. Yeah, noise is coming through some here, but there needs to be
It's
something that
gone
can
now.
show you that it has that asset. And essentially, one of the downfalls of these exchanges, exactly what happened to FTX, is they took people's money and started trading it without their permission, and that was really what had happened. And that's exactly what it is. Now, that being said, for the people that are not educated in it, that's the first problem because you just got to look at statistics. I mean, if you wanted to be an athlete like Turbo is, Turbo knew how good he needs to be before he can play in that game. He didn't just go and try out and said, I'm going to make it. He's been living his life doing it. And so when you think about someone that's going to go do investing, why wouldn't you sit there and educate it? Why wouldn't you practice? Why wouldn't you do all those things before you go into the highest aspect of leverage, the highest aspect of risk to reward, and understanding the game and those rules? So the statistics always prove forward when it's about 95% of people that fail, 5% less that really make some money, 1% that's really making a killing in it. And by understanding the statistics of it, you would really approach the game differently. If you're someone that's new to crypto and you're playing crypto, the real things as anybody that should know about this, and this is what I think that even the song "Crypto Crazy" is talking about it. We were talking about it the other day. Is
That's a
crypto is
good plug
crazy? You
right
can make a
there.
lot of money from it. You could lose a lot of money from it, but it's all about your mindset and how you learn how to play that game. Because if you were just an average person today, all you really need to know is how do I play it safe? When is the right time for me to get involved? And when is the right time for me to cash out? And if you just played that game over and over and over again, you can have a lot of success without trading it. But when you get into trading, you can make some crazy, crazy money because now you're someone that's a market maker. It don't matter if the market's going up or the market's going down, you're making money. And that's one thing that's really beneficial to do it. Now, one of the things that we really talk about a lot, and
Hold
I
on,
don't think
Nafis.
enough people.
Hold on, Feast, because I want to make sure everybody gets into part of the conversation. You was
Yes,
talking
sir.
about like how do you go about playing a game, so I want to ask Turbo like with your money, because like you literally risking your life playing football to earn your paycheck, and then in turn you taking that money and investing it and risking it again. So like,
Right.
what's your mindset?
Again, bro, I feel like it just goes back to the security and the education of it, bro. You know what I mean? I got people like Nafeez on my side. You know what I mean? That's able to properly educate me on, like the security and exactly what I'm getting myself into. And me, I'm not somebody that jumps right into it. You know what I mean? I take that 2, 3, 4 months. Like how much time did I take before I really dive into our first DeFi project?
Lots,
Probably
bro.
7 months of just educating, practicing trading, just learning about the process and stuff like that, so that I'm comfortable going in, you know what I mean, like I would a football game. You know what I mean? I put those hours of practice in so that when I get on the field, I'm confident. You know what I mean? I can talk my shit, excuse my language. But same thing with crypto, you know what I mean? I try to put the education behind it and really put that work in before I'm able to, really dive into it.
Hey, we took a real quick intermission. Want to shout out Kush Queen, one of the sponsors. If you ever just need to relax, you need to take a bath, you need to rub some lotion on you, or maybe you just want to get some good sleep, they got all the good CBDs. I'm actually going to try the gummies myself live on camera. I hope I have a good night's sleep. Kush Queen, Instagram, Twitter, all socials. Check out Kush Queen. Get your CBD from them. Have a good night's sleep. Have a good bath.
On the way here, man, I was bumping the song, man, and I will say, I really don't be liking the crypto music. Like we did spaces a lot. I'd be like, all right, I need to hear that rapidy rap stuff, or like, we like listening to in the
Yeah,
clubs
for
and
sure.
wherever you at. But I like that joint, and it's crazy. When I was listening to it, it reminded me of an artist, and then you know how Apple Music is, it'll play an artist similar. Like after,
Yeah,
and then right after the song played, it went to Wafin Lucci, of course, who's incarcerated right now. But that was
yeah,
definitely the vibe that I was getting from that, and I definitely, I guess, get the vibe from. That was only one song I heard. I'm not gonna lie, so I'm definitely
yeah,
interested to hear more. I guess, what's your plans as far as that goes? Because if you getting into that music industry and then you're in the crypto world, crypto is supposed to be freedom, 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 and then
yeah.
when you get into that music business, they get kind of murky with the contracts and everything like that. So like, I guess, what's your plan with that?
Well, that's basically, just to give a little background on myself, like I've been making music for a long time now and just really holding it down out here in Vancouver, you know, opening for a bunch of different artists and stuff like that. So eventually, like I started stepping into label like meetings and, taking these meetings, like having conversations with like execs and stuff like that. And I basically realized like, that you're losing so much of your creative control, number one, and then overall your career is just in the palm of somebody else's hands, right? So that's why I basically took some time off, kind of recalibrated my plans, and that's part of the reason why I stepped into finance, was because I was like, okay, at one point I was like going to all these different investors because just to avoid the labels, right? And I was like, yo, at a certain point, I'm just like, you know what? Why don't I educate myself on how money works so I could raise my own capital and put this into the music that way, right? And so, that's why I got into finance, being a financial planner and all that kind of stuff. So, to answer your question, it's really that we're about to do this right now with the mindset that if the labels never come with the right, talking the right things, then we're just going to keep it moving, and that might mean we might not get all the way to the, the same spaces that some of these artists are in, because they've the labels like create certain situations, but at the end of the day, we do music because we love it. So if we can eventually just make our income off of music solely, great. But if not, we're just creating a situation where we're like, profitable regardless, and we could just be ourselves.
What what you think? Now when you go to these labels, and stuff, what was they putting on the table? Was them 360 deals? That's like I feel like the novice listener or the casual music fan has heard of 360 deals, and how the the music industry does that to people. Was it something like that, or was it just not making sense? Like how, well, you did say like they was taking your power creatively wise, or was it a little of both?
It was a little bit of both. As far as like the management goes, managers, they'll, in the A&Rs, they'll have a lot to say about where you should go with your sound, and, topics like what should you be making music about. And so for me, I wanted to like find that in an organic way. You know what I mean? If I want to make a crypto song today and I want to make a love song tomorrow, I want to do that. And I don't want to have somebody tell me, okay, no, that's not part of your brand, or that's not like XYZ. So From the management side, it was that. From the label side, yeah, I encountered a 360 deal. And the splits were crazy. They basically said, all right, you have talent, we could sign you today, but since you're not viral, or since you're not doing certain kind of numbers, we're basically going to sign you with a 15%. Like you'll get 15%. Like that's just the deal, right? And so I was like, okay,
You get
no, that sounds crazy.
15%. Oh, you get 15% of the money that you make.
Yeah, like 15% of the deal,
The
like
revenue
completely.
that you generate or the
Yeah.
profit. Or we talk. It's probably is it profit or just revenue?
Of profit. And that was what was the
Okay.
next thing I was about to say, is that, like, so you get 15% of the profit, and not to mention that you're basically taking a loan from the label in order to make everything happen, right? So it's like artists get excited, oh, I got a $2 million deal or whatever it is, but it's like that's a 200 or $2 million loan, right? So I just waited out, and I realized that I would rather not gamble with my like career like that, and I would much rather bet on myself, because I just feel like I know what I'm like capable of doing business wise. So,
I think that's like a kind of like a I don't you guys probably watch Drink Champs, and I think Nori always asks like, would you rather be signed to like a major label or independent? And Nori of course always goes with the major label, which was it worked for him. So like even when you say that, like I do understand the concept of when you sign, like you in that 2 million, it's a $2 million loan, but it's also like if you hit, it's like for some people in some situation that's like hitting a lottery. If you in a messed up situation, like that 2 million up front, or do I want to put in the work and get like 5,000 a month type thing? You know what I mean? So like I think it just matters. Like you said you're in the financial planning space now. I guess if it made sense now, like I guess what are you going? How are you guys going about? I guess getting funding, because I feel like if you go to the banks, they not necessarily like, yo, I'm trying to get X amount of dollars to fund this music career or our entertainment company. So like, what's the how you navigate? You looking for investors to fund you guys' talent?
That's Turbo.
so
Oh, that's he Turbo the
That's
bank.
Turbo.
Oh,
Turbo the
okay.
bank.
Hey. I ain't know.
You see the chain?
Nah.
It's Turbo.
well, I would say like the thing is, right, is at this current moment we are doing the independent grind. So it's just like, we're taking our own like funds, putting it into every single project, every, song, video, like, whatever it is, we're funding it right now. And, just basically looking to leverage like sponsorships more than investments. You know what I'm saying? So really taking a project to different sponsors and being like, you know what, if you agree with the direction we're going, you see your brand as being something that you could, cross promote, then let us hold a bag, and this could make the whole project go further. And so that was actually something I wanted to holler at Nafis about, is that like I'm starting to leverage like the film industry in this whole thing too. So I'm putting together like a TV show, you know what I'm saying, and basically get some sponsors through that, and roll it over, because it's just like being like educated in finance in general showed me how there's multiple ways that you can skin a cat, you know what I mean? So there's no one way of doing it. And because of that, I'm getting real creative on the business end as well as the like artistic end. So that's what's really like opening the door and having me realize that like I made the right choice, because I know myself. So it's I know I'm gonna make a situation like out of nothing, you know what I'm saying?
So, question, because you got Nafis right there, he the investing man. When you get this money come in, I think Drake said like you got 500,000 and you bought a house instead of a verse. That was stupid. So what's the thought process on that? Like when you get money, do you invest in like crypto or stocks or real estate, or is it more advantageous to go invest in the music career?
Um, TJ, I guess really my first thing is, man, it's maturity, money maturity, bro. Because when you're immature and you first get a bag, you go blow it right away.
Yeah.
And you go and do whatever you think is the right way. if you got money right now and you don't got a real 5, 10 year plan with it, just pretend like you don't got it. That's the best thing you could do, man. Straight up. Don't listen to anybody. Don't do nothing. Sit down and really look at it. Now, as far as, for example, my boy D, Turbo, what's great is we're not just people that are trying to secure a paycheck. We really trying to create a business plan for the entire music game that these guys are doing because they're so talented. And so we talk to everybody. I just got off the phone with the label that I got some business that I'm already doing with. She's already listening to the music. Because we know crypto, we were thinking about it. Hey, man, we can do things that nobody could do. We can, instead of doing a record deal, we can make it into an NFT and say which record label wants to buy the NFT of this one track because it's a decentralized asset. They wouldn't be able to own anything else that these gentlemen make. They could just buy this one guy. I had a guy come up to me and be like, man, I want to just buy the song. I want to play the song on every YouTube video that I make about crypto. I just want to play that song at the beginning, and I'll give you guys a royalty or something like that. So I think what's the smartest thing to do is look at what your strengths are, look at what your resources are, look at what your team looks like, and bring it all to the table. And don't jump at the first thing. Just really think about it and really come up with a plan that everybody would see that, okay, this is something good in this longevity. The real goal, I mean, really for anybody is obviously to make money. We all need to make money. If you were broke today, a paycheck sounds great. You know what I mean? But at the same time, a little bit of sacrifice sometimes can mean that delay of gratification can really lead into an income that can be something that can change your life forever. And the best thing about it is, we're not the first people in the music game as the music game's changing. So we got so many people to learn it from, and then we've got the opportunity to innovate on it as well. But it's great when you got the right people around you, bro, because when they see you're talented, they're not going to try to cut deals and make it in their favor. They really want to partner with you to set you up so you're good, they're good, and they can see the longevity of the partnership going further so they can make more things happen.
And you said something right there kind of that stuck out is, you know, kind of why the music business is building on other things that you watch. I guess if you guys could like, I ask all three of you, we could start from like left to right or right to left. If you guys could say you guys are trying to, I guess, emulate a blueprint for a record label, which record label would you pick and say you guys are trying to emulate, and then how I guess would you guys innovate that?
Ooh,
That's
you
a
can get
good
three
question.
different. You can get three different answers right now, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, D, go first, bro. Whatever comes to mind.
Death Row.
Suge Knight.
Yeah, don't sign with us. We putting y'all in the 360s if y'all sign here.
I would say for me, I think I would be trying to emulate probably the Cash Money like imprint a little bit, just because at the end of the day, they to me, I'm like all about leverage. You know what I'm saying? And being able to walk to a label and tell them, yo, the leverage that I have is that I just sold, 10 million copies out of my trunk. Like that's like leverage. You know what I'm saying? So even if we don't, obviously CDs are not a thing no more, but maybe it's not even selling records. It could be streams, it could be followers, it could be, it could be I'm on TV. I have my own TV show. Who knows what it is, but being able to step to them with leverage to me is like the golden nugget that I took away from that. So I would probably go with that.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you,
I
Turbo?
definitely agree with what DK's saying. For me personally, I'm the type of person like a record label and everything is cool, and like obviously they can enhance what you got going on and everything. But for like my mindset is I wanna like build up from the ground up. You know what I mean? Build that real foundation to the point where I really like I don't need anybody. You know what I mean? That's my whole thing. I want to work it up and build it up to the point where I don't need a label. But if you come to me with the right opportunity, then it might work good. But at the end of the day, I want to get to the point where we don't even need nobody else. We could just, do it on our own, build our own plugs, our own connections, so we can have our own internal machine that's going. You know what I mean? As opposed to depending on somebody else. to do it. You know what I mean? And y'all probably know in business, like especially in the music industry, it's a lot of shady business. It's a lot of bad business. It's a lot of people with ill intentions. You know what I mean? And I've only been doing this for maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years, and even I've already realized that. So for me, you know what I mean? I'll say personally, I'm just trying to, with my whole team, DK and the fees, we got another guy, Prince. You know what I mean? My whole thing is I'm just trying to build this up from the ground up, everything organic to the point where, you know what I mean, we don't need to go look for labels. We're doing it ourselves, you know what I mean? And granted, you know what I mean, it might take a little bit more money, it might take a little bit more time, but at the end of the day, if anything was to happen, if for example, if we got with a label and that's all we had, what if the label tomorrow was like, we don't want you anymore? Then you got nothing to fall back on, you know what I mean? But if you build up a base and a real foundation, if that label was to go tomorrow, like, yeah, we're not rocking with you no more, well, that's cool. I got my own motion going. You know what I mean? So that's probably where my mindset is at. Like, I feel like the way that I want to work in a perfect world would be, I don't need to depend on, other people unless it may be, connections or plugs or people within my network that, can help me move forward and stuff like that. And everything for me is everything is beneficial. You know what I mean? Like my relationships are reciprocal. You know what I mean? So if I'm helping you eat, you helping me eat, everybody wins. You know what I mean? As opposed to a one-sided job like a label or something like, yeah, we putting you on, but at the end of the day, like DK was saying, we got full control of your stuff. We tell you what you putting out. We might not be okay with what you putting out and stuff like that. So for me, I feel like it's just important to, build your own foundation. So if that rug was ever to be pulled out underneath you, you know what I mean? We're still standing 10 toes down and we're not worried about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and
Yo,
Kev, I guess from my perspective of it, when I look at it for the team and the music that these guys are making out and how good it is, I gotta say that question's really good because it really makes you think. I think that there's two things that you really got to take a note at. One, the culture that these labels made. The culture was one of the most popular things about them, but the way they ran the business maybe wasn't the right way. So I love what when DK said cash money, that whole aspect because they had one of the best cultures for it felt like one of the longest running lines, for the longest time from early into even what is now one of the biggest aspects. But as you look at it from a business perspective, when these artists really popped off and they knew that they were not going to be something that was going to be a one-hit wonder or just around for a little bit, they knew that they were going to be long-term in that game. They needed to learn the business and they adapted and they shifted. So I think that when I look at that, I like to just study what these people have done because they're great. They're great case studies. Of how they did it,
right.
what they did, and look at the rights and wrongs and come from it from both a traditional perspective and then also come to a non-traditional perspective of like what we're talking about, getting independent financing, getting independent aspects, the artists themselves being financially stable, so they're not like dying for a check, Bo D, Turbo, they do well for themselves. They're very successful outside of their music career. So that confidence that they bring into the music career is going to make them so much stronger because they're not desperate for money. They're really desperate to create a legacy for their family and everything that we're doing.
So I got a question for Turbo. Because you mentioned making a song an NFT maybe. Does going into crypto or the rapping, does it interfere with on the field? Because I know we've seen like Des Bryant and different NFL play. I think Juju Schuster. I
Yeah,
always mess his name up. Shout out to Juju. He
yeah.
follows me on socials. um, like, can I mess up your on the field stuff? Because we do have a friend that's connected with the league, but like one of his scouting reports is like he's so into NFTs, I don't even think he wants to play football anymore. So
Yeah.
does that ever interfere?
Of course, it definitely does. And the thing about football, bro, and especially at the professional level is, there's a lot of politics that go into it. You know what I mean? So just something as simple as, me dropping a song during the football season, that can be perceived as like, oh, he's not focused or he's not, you know what I mean? He wants to do music more than football. You know what I mean? But that might not be the case. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a tough line. You know what I mean? I'm definitely learning as I go. Like this past season that I played was really my first season playing after I really dove into this music, and it's definitely there's definitely politics when it comes to that. So that's where it kind of gets tricky a little bit. So it's definitely hard to balance the two while still making it known that football is what I want to do and I'm fully invested in football. You know what I mean? Whether I want to drop a song in my off time or not. You know what I mean?
And so, and now you're like into investing. Do your handlers push that onto you, or is that something that you just wanted for yourself, and then I don't know, Nafis popped in and kind of matured that a little bit?
Well, I honestly, Nafis is really the person that really put me on to it. You know what I mean? So I honestly can't say I was involved in that before him. But once I met him, once we linked up, we chopped it up a few times and stuff. I found out what he was about. Obviously I started getting curious. You know what I mean? Like if you see somebody that's making real bread right in front of you, it's gonna make you a little bit curious. Like, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean?
So
So,
what exactly was he? What was he doing? It was just was he trading? Was you just buying crypto in the fees? Like what? I guess what did you show him
everything.
to
Everything.
everything?
He was
He was
trading.
in
He was
DeFi
buying
heavy.
crypto. He knew about the coins. He was in the
He showed them
DeFi
the house and the
projects.
cars.
He was into all that stuff. And earlier we were saying that he's actually one of the handlers of an academy that's out here in Canada. He's one of the head guys on there. So you know what I mean. Just seeing the successful brand that he's been able to come out here and branch out, and the success that he's had from it. Kind of just irked my ears because obviously everybody needs money. And when you start seeing somebody physically make money that you're close with, that's next to you, you know what I mean? Just by law, you know what I mean? You're probably going to get a little curious as to what's going on. You making all this money off your phone? You making all this money off research? You know what I mean? Like, I need to get a little piece of that. So he definitely got me started. But obviously, you know what I mean? I obviously had to take it upon myself to want to get educated and want to, put those hours in. I think when I first got with you, there was like the training videos.
We did hours.
It was probably 25, 30 hours of just straight training videos that I was going through for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Which
however
is
long.
it was like a crypto for dummies type thing, like just learning
Yeah,
about
we
crypto.
have a full course, Kev. So my company's called Teach Train Trade. We started in 2019, and we created a whole course curriculum for not just crypto, but forex trading, stocks trading, all that stuff. I got together with a lot of good friends of mine that were very successful at what it was. I was having success myself, and we put it all together. And the whole goal of it was to be educated before you make a play, because as you see what's happening with crypto, that shouldn't affect somebody that actually has done crypto correctly. If they've done crypto like me and TJ were talking about today, like, this isn't the first time this happened. They just making it news, and the media needs something to talk about, because if there's nothing happening in this world, there's nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? And so crypto needs something to talk about. It's either going to be positive or negative, and it just so happens that the negative is what's great for them, because that's what keeps people attached to watching what's happening with crypto. So we created all that videos. It was exactly what you're thinking, TJ. We was just going from and Kev, it's going right from nothing, showing you all the right stuff, understanding the infrastructure before you put a dollar into it, so that you can protect yourself. You know what to do, even if you're at a basic level, not doing it every day. You're just doing it as something as a part-time thing, or you're doing it as a side hustle to make some extra money. How to go about it the right way versus just YouTubing it, hearing it from a friend, trying to chuck some money in, see what happens. You know what I mean? Get some euphoric feeling or lose some money, and then most people, like anything, say, I'm either out or I don't want to really do it.
I want to. We kind of talked like offline, like before we started going. I want to ask you this question, and then with everybody else, like, so with the FTX situation happening, and that's like the number 2 biggest exchange. That's like the easiest way for people to get into crypto versus like the MetaMask, the Trust Wallet, which
all the stuff I hate.
Right.
which puts all the responsibility on you to manage your money. Like, where do you see crypto going? Can it go any further for the average person?
I mean, for the average person, I think I think for this FTX thing that happened, it's something that probably we were gonna have to have one of the major players in there to like for this to happen in order for other people to learn, other companies to learn from this. I don't know which company might be next. I don't know if that's the only company that's gonna with something like that is gonna happen.
I got guesses.
You said what?
I got a couple guesses, bro. What's going to happen
Oh,
next?
okay.
We'll talk about that.
All right, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, but like hopefully, like
rest in peace to BlockFi.
Yeah, BlockFi is about to go under as well, but yeah, they came out. They're about to go under as well. But for me, like I said, I always been screaming since we got into this. I want people scream, especially crypto people enthusiasts. They say decentralization. But me, man, get some regulation here. Protect my money. I need some insurance. Yeah, man. I'm like, it's too much of the wild, wild west for me. And I knew this. I knew, like, for me, for us, I know you guys probably aware of when the Town Wonderland thing happened. Danny, who was like a developer or whatever, he had like 2 or 3 other projects. I can't think of the name right now, but everybody was like, oh, he's doxxed, he's trusted, this, that, and the third. And then for all of that to happen, Wonderland to go under, and him to, I don't even think he's tweeted like in months and months, because I'm pretty sure I had notifications on from for him to disappear. And I'm like, yo, he ain't get touched, and he just took millions, if not probably billions. I'm like, yeah, this crypto stuff
being
too much.
Being doxxed is like the red flag.
At this
He's
point,
going to steal my money.
At this point, but like getting on, like everybody was like, "Oh no, he's doxxed. You can trust it." This, that, and the third. Yeah. And I that probably was like my biggest loss. I think I lost between like 4,000 and 5,000. Like from that. So I'm like, yeah, from that I was like, I'm turned off. So once it started getting a little more regulation, and you had real people. Real people was involved in all projects, but you had celebrities like Tom Brady and stuff that was back in FTX. You had the billionaire from Shark Tank that was involved in this, and I think he said, he said in an interview, he said, "Man, I'm flying to Washington and I'm asking for regulation." So I think regulation and that's what it's gonna take for at least to get back to your question, the common everyday investor, you know what I'm saying? Because if you ask my mom, my dad how to use MetaMask, like they're not trying to do that shit.
Right.
Yeah. Well, bro, to kind of talk about that a little bit, regulation's not going to really solve anything, bro. All it's going to do is put one guy behind jail, and it ain't going to change anybody's financial situation.
I would be okay with that, though. As long as the dude go to jail. As long as the dude go to jail.
Right? It'll scare somebody to do it again. You won't be able to do it because you're going to have an example.
But think about this in history, man. Forget about crypto. Let's talk about stocks. Back in the day, there's stock manipulation, NROC, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about governments. Governments have taken money from people and just act like nothing's there. All this stuff is happening, and it just really kind of comes down to, how much power and authority do you have on the world, right? So when you think about crypto, you just got to think about what was it really designed to do? It was to disrupt the banking system, the money system, the corruption system. The decentralized way of doing crypto is actually the safest way because you have to follow the rules. If it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. If it's not in your wallet, it's not in your possession. So the moment you give possession away, that's it. It's no different than all of us right now when we have our money in our bank. There's banks that have gone under, and maybe they had an underlining of insurance to somewhat protect people, but there's a period of time that people couldn't access their money or whatever the case would be. And these are all the solutions that cryptocurrency has created. The issue with crypto is that how it's being introduced to the market. So if you look at crypto as a worldwide statistics, less than 4% of people, are in cryptocurrency, But did you know that the word Bitcoin is more recognized than McDonald's now, So think about how big that is. That's crazy, right? You're not even investing.
No. Where you get this stat from?
That's a crazy stat.
Man.
Look at people that study on the marketing side of things, bro. Like they're just looking at marketing. They're not even talking about investing in it. They did a study that said, let me just show you the symbol and you tell me what it is. They said it's McDonald's. Let me show you what this is. This is Bitcoin. More people knew what Bitcoin was than McDonald's was. because some places in the world, third world countries, they don't
No.
Yes,
The
yes,
Golden
bro.
Arches?
Yes,
You
bro.
saying more
Remember, we
people
come from North
recognize.
America. When I'm saying this right now, you're like, bro, I grew up in the arches, okay? I was in the
But I'm
Happy
saying
Meals.
the Arches,
I was the Hamburglar. You know what I
the
mean?
Arches is worldwide adopted though.
But that's the thing, bro. It's remember in a third
Billions
world
of
country.
burgers are sold every day. There's no way.
Listen to this, bro. My family's Fijian, bro. In the Fiji world, in the Fiji Islands, where there's a population of 1 million people, there is only finally in the last, I don't know how many decades, I'm 36 years old, there's only 2 McDonald's there, finally, okay? But Bitcoin, in an island where there should be no reason that they even know what Bitcoin is, everybody knows what Bitcoin is. Why? It was faster to transfer money to your family than Western Union. When you need to send money back home, what do? Think about it. The population of Canada is only 30 million. You know, what's America? 200 million. You go to something like Brazil, one little place, it's over almost 300 million. You go to India, billions, you know what I mean? You go to places in there that's billions, you know? They don't think about those things. They ain't thinking about eating out. That's a Western culture kind of mentality. So, as you think about adoption, that's what's up. So, the biggest thing is understanding that the best thing that could really happen is it be controlled as better marketing. Marketing should come out for crypto. If there was a regulatory, the marketing should be that, hey, if you're going to go put your money on an exchange should have to force you to understand where your money is safe and not, and make you do a small test to understand if we fuck up tomorrow, you lose your money. Do you understand? Check mark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's why I need this stuff regulated. Because at least with the banks, I know the government gonna bail them out. The government gonna bail them out, just like they gonna bail them out. But these crypto exchanges, once they go under, what the bull was on the jet to, well, he caught the jet somewhere after the was the last like 400 mil.
It turned out not to be him. But,
Allegedly.
Yeah, he got stuck at headquarters. Now
Yeah.
he just
So,
playing,
I mean, all of this stuff.
There will be a
All of
time.
this
I'll
stuff
tell you
is-
when that time will come. That time will come when the market share of crypto hits about $8 trillion. In any kind of economic world, when something is less than a trillion,
how can that happen? Like, I think what it was at like 3 trillion during the bull market, and now it's at like 700 billion now.
Yep.
I just feel like
here's why.
A lot of
you guys,
I feel like a lot of rich people
for you guys.
and a lot of whales aren't there no more.
What'd you say? What's the movie?
There's a movie called Thrive. It's on YouTube. It's free. Anybody can watch it. And it essentially talks about market manipulation. It talks about how in history, the Feds, the governments, the JP Morgans, the Morgan Stanleys of the world, how they manipulated the market to always do this to us. They pump the market up to allow us to start getting bigger homes, eating out, enjoying, getting the common society to do this. And then they always have a black swan event that comes along and wipes out everything. When they do that, there's a reason why. The bank right now is buying more crypto. Fidelity's buying, I think they just bought a ton of crypto right now. And if you think about it, why would they want to buy it at 60,000, 50,000, even 30,000? And right now what they're doing is they're doing everything they can to crash the market. So these little newses that you're hearing about FTX, why it's publicized so much is to fear the public. Because the public then isn't taking their money and keeping it in assets like crypto or other assets. They're keeping it in money. And when they keep it in money, this is the real reality. Every year, 5%, your money is worth lower and lower every year. 5% negative.
Yeah.
Holding it in cash.
Yeah, for sure.
So when these big banks are coming in, they're coming in confident. Now here's how you know. Here's the answer, TJ. They just announced this today that the United States is about to come out with their first coin, a government coin. So when the government starts releasing their coins,
a 12-week trial.
Yep. But guess what? It ain't a 12-week trial. China already had a place inside China that they already had a full community where they took money away, physical cash away, and they tested what it would be like to do crypto on them already. And they already were running it. They were already running a whole society on that. to make sure that the infrastructure is right. The UN, they're developing a coin. I was at a conference last year. A lady of mine wanted to connect me with a gentleman who was in charge of helping the UN create their coin. So if you think about it, why is this all happening when everything's crashing? Because here's the reality. You know, they say, this is like a saying in investing. You sell the news, you buy the rumor.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Because
And
when things, yeah, go ahead, bro.
I'll just try and get DK perspective a little bit on this. Being a financial planner, when your clients do come to you and you're speaking with people, and like, I don't know if Turbo takes your advice because he's an athlete, and athletes historically have been known to just blow a preponderance amount of money on different things.
Athletes just turn out to be dumb.
Yeah, they just stupid with their money, and so they're right. If you don't know money, it's hard to manage it. And how he pointed out earlier, if you don't have a plan for your money, you might as well not touch it. Because unplanned money is just money you're gonna spend. But DK, people come to you worrying about it, or you giving Turbo any advice as far as like how to fight inflation, or what are your thoughts on it as far as when that will slow up? Has it hit its peak? What are your thoughts on that as far as inflation?
I mean, this is a conversation that like I talk to people like the fees who are heavy in crypto. I talk to people in regular finance, like stock markets and just stuff like that. And at the end of the day, the conversation is an end game conversation, right? And it becomes conspiracy-esque, which I don't think that there's any conspiracies behind conspiracy theories. I think they're just people putting together things that clearly like follow, right? But so my answer to that is that it has a lot to do with like what Nafis says, in the sense that like at the end of the day, this world is on a serious bubble, right? Like I was just watching The Big Short like 2 days ago just to watch it, and like just comparing it to what's going on right now. And to me, like when the COVID situation happened, actually a lot of people don't realize that like that really the stock market broke like a couple months before COVID started. It was like October 2019, I think, October or November 2019. But for like a day or two, the price of oil was negative for a bit. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yep, that's crazy.
So to me, I looked at that and I said, okay, well, since the US dollar being the reserve currency is not pegged to gold, but it's pegged to oil, so then that would like logically like follow that something about the economy broke at that point, because if the dollar is linked to oil and oil is negative, it just doesn't make any sense, right? So to me, I felt like that was one of the biggest signs that like we're like the economy is just like somewhat of a system, right? And the system itself is broken, so they can keep it going for as long as they want. I think that COVID could have been one of those things that like maybe I don't know what the where it started, but at the end of the day, that was another thing. So that happens at one point. A couple months later, they completely stopped the economy, and to me, I thought that was very interesting because I think that the stock market started in like the 1700s, and like world wars have happened. World wars and atom bombs have gone off, and they never stopped the economy, right? So to me, when they stopped the economy, that was when I was like, okay, something is very, very, very wrong here, right? And then just to see them print 80%, 85% of all the US dollars got printed after COVID. So that's like a triple like whammy like on you. So it just shows that something is very, very off. And the CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, that was something that I've been warning people that's going to happen soon, and just overall that crypto isn't going anywhere. So it's just really about like in the short term, making sure that your debts are paid, that if you are keeping cash, that cash is growing, and then educating yourself on cryptos as far as what crypto has the best like use case or utility, because at the end of the day, it is going to be a situation where when you go to buy something from the corner store, you're gonna have to pay in a CBDC. It's gonna have to be like Canadian digital currency or US digital currency. So all the other currencies that we're invested in, those have to have like a real use case, or else people, why would people like use them if I'm just going to use the US crypto? You know what I mean?
You gave a real good and complex answer. I thought it was just gonna be like, yo, Turbo, rap more and catch more passes, and we'll be inflation.
Meet them contract goals so we can get these bonuses. Now, what's your take on it, Turbo, man? You seeing, as you know, you got, pretty sure you got athlete friends. Have you noticed people, you know what I'm saying, spending less, like people buying the base model and shit? What's going on, man?
You know, just for me personally, seeing it, it's like it's kind of been the same. You know what I mean? I'm myself. You know, I've always been terrible with money. You know what I mean? I've always been horrible. You know what I mean? So I'm still terrible, to be real with you. You know what I mean? I just try to, you know,
Make a lot
just
more.
tap in with myself and stay focused for real. Like I just try to like stay focused and really stay on top of that. But you know, it's tough for anybody. You know what I mean? Football is like, you know what I mean? You got to think you getting a full salary in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? You're getting a full year salary in 6 months of playing. So it's like, to a lot of people, that's like, either people got other jobs in the off season, or, you know, they just making that last. So while you making those, while that income's coming in, and it's a lot more than you normally expect, you know, a lot of people feel like they have more room to spend. You know what I mean? But in reality, looking at the big picture, it's not like that. You know what I mean? And I'm just starting to realize that now. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've been terrible in money my whole life. You know what I mean? So I'm just, you know, now getting into the stage of my life where I'm trying to, you know, fix that and educate myself more on just, you know, different ways, and try to, you know, focus to certain spending habits. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm still bad. So I'm still trying to, you know, still trying to keep a rein on it. But, you know, I'm definitely aware of it now. You know what I mean? And I can say the same for most of my football friends. You know what I mean? There's obviously some guys that are more, you know, have more financial literacy, so they understand, you know, the big picture more. But then on the other end, you know, it's, you know, football players are kind of a stereotype. At the end of the day, we don't really help ourselves.
Yeah,
You know
he definitely buying 3 Birkins for a startup. He definitely buying the Birkins out there.
Man.
Yo, is there certain players like you won't go out with because like you know they about to spend,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, absurd amounts of money? Because I heard stories where like rookies will go out with like the star player of the team, and they go somewhere and the bill is like crazy, and they be like, "Yeah, Rook, get it."
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, it's a different comparison. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm playing up in Canada right now. You know what I'm saying? So that it's a big gap between the NFL and the CFL. You know what I mean? Like I said, the average salary in the CFL is, you know, $60K to probably about 350, 400, and anywhere above that, you know, 150, 200 range, you got to be somebody, you know what I mean, to be getting that. So it's a select handful of players that's doing that, as opposed to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? The average salary, what, 750 if you're on the active roster? So, you know, that's a whole different ball game. So, you know, it's definitely different circumstances and stuff, but you know, there's definitely guys that, you know, when you go out with, they definitely gonna be dropping a bag. They quick to get sections, they quick to get bottles, they quick to, you know what I mean, go to the designer stores and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? But it's
And
just
I'm
all
right
about
there with
financial
'em.
literacy at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Turbo be right there with him.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I've been right there with him, but I'm trying to change. I'm trying to get better. You know what I mean? I surrounded myself with people like this. You know what I mean? That's going, you know, not only hold me accountable, but just, you know what I mean, keep giving me, you know, knowledge and game of different ways and spending habits, and you know, just the little things. You know what I mean? It's the little things that take you a long way. You know what I mean? So it's just being self-aware and just shit like that, bro.
I just got an open-ended question for anybody. Could grab this one, or all three of you can answer it. We talk about it a lot. I know Matt can relate to it too. We said it in our last episode. Shout out to the accountants. I know DK, you're a financial planner, but are all of you have accountants? If you don't, why not? And what are, I guess, the pros that you find that having an accountant does for you?
Yeah, no, I definitely have an accountant, and he's very dope. He helps me a lot to minimize how much Oh, my bad. Minimize how much taxes I gotta pay. Um, yeah, I mean, everybody should have an accountant. Actually, that's one of the things that I'm tackling, like through my financial planning, is actually starting with accountants. And this next tax season, I'm making sure that everybody, like, just going to H&R Block is not enough. You gotta, it can't just be that you're just filling out a piece of paper and like wish for whatever, but like really sit with your accountant and have that person be your first financial advisor, at least, you know what I mean? And yeah, so
That's good.
Yeah,
what's that?
me personally, like me and the fees actually got the same accountant. You know what I mean? So she, she's amazing. She finds all different loopholes and stuff when it comes around time to tax season and stuff like that. She'll, put me up on game just on the little things like I was saying before, like keeping your receipts and just, staying on top of the spending, keeping you within, your levels and stuff like that. So I feel like that's important, especially when tax time comes around. Especially for my profession. Sorry, because for example, like my profession is because we only in a 6 month window of a full year salary. We get a lot of our taxes taken out. You know what I mean? For example, like last season, I only got, I would say 50%, like 45, 50% of my contract, and the rest was taken out in taxes. You know what I'm saying? So I
Sheesh.
got it back in tax season, but it just goes to
Oh,
show you that, you know what I mean?
Sheesh, you
Yeah.
got
bruh,
you got to set up the 401. You got the 401ks and the SEP set up.
bruh.
I don't, I
How
don't
you
personally, nah, I
live?
don't
We don't got
personally,
it up here, bro.
nah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, I think our 401k is the RSP, no?
They
RSP.
don't
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
y'all don't got
Yeah.
that. Ooh,
Okay.
I don't
Hi,
know
yo,
what's
I don't
coming
know
there.
about that Canada.
I don't know.
No,
I
no,
don't know
we
how
got
Drake
we got
doing it.
it.
Then I
Nah,
do
we
not
got it.
know.
It's
Hey,
we
that's
got
why
it.
they
It's
got free health
RSP.
care. They take everything.
You said y'all don't got 401ks.
God.
so, bro,
Hey,
we
y'all
do.
count. Y'all accounts
We
got
have
to be real
401ks.
creative,
We have
huh?
401ks. They're not called 401ks though. They're called RRSPs.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay, okay. How
so
much
if
can you know what I'm saying, tuck away in them for the year?
it automatically, when you're an employee, you have it automatically gets deducted. If you're an employee, your employer in Canada has to contribute to it, and if you decide to contribute more to it, your employer actually has to match it here. So that's something that is not done in the States.
Yeah.
Number two, though,
I couldn't afford
Hey.
that.
I'll
My
say, come
business
on over to the
cannot
good
afford.
side. Come on over to the good
I
side.
don't know. I got.
You could have made that statement without adding America to it. You know what I mean?
nah.
RSP is this.
I know because it becomes an option. It's an option for an employer out in certain like states. They choose by states.
They actually just did something. I think Meg probably could fact check me on this, but I get emails from our payroll service, and that actually did come out something that at least the state that we're in, Maryland, is requiring people. Requiring employers to set up a 401k or like
Right.
contribute something towards. So we do have it set up now. So they're
Yeah.
coming down on it, but it's not like how you said, not like y'all's.
Yeah.
Just yet, but we'll see as time goes on. But
Yeah.
but yeah, how much can because like I didn't hear without 401k we could put up to like what they raised it to like 20,000 was it?
Oh, I thought it was 18.5.
I thought it was like 19. Well, I thought they increased it. Well, it was like 18 to
Oh,
19,000
no,
that you could
no.
put in it. How much?
Oh,
I guess is you guys unlimited.
yeah. So on RRSP is different. There's actually the real thing is called a CPP, Canadian Pension Plan. That's the actual 401k for us. It's the Canadian Pension Plan. The RRSP is a retirement plan that you can contribute to and you can loan and lend from actually. And it's really smart to actually be able to do it. Every year the contribution maxes out. I think it's at about 18k, is that you can max
Okay.
it out at, and then from there your employer can match that and then kind of help you out if they wanted, if they didn't want to, whatever it is the case would be, all in the agreement of what it is. But that's what's up. That's how Canadians are doing it. But I wanted to say one thing because there was a question that we were talking about earlier, and that's something I learned from a mentor of mine when I was very young. He said, Nafis, if you want to be very successful in life, the two things that you're going to need, that you need now, that you don't want to have to figure out later, is a good accountant and a good lawyer. Because when the time comes that you finally get that, you do not want to be looking for the right accountant when you are having accounting problems. You do not want to be looking for
That's
the right lawyer.
That's crazy you said that because like when you were saying it, I was like I whispered, I was like accountant and lawyer, and sure enough, it's accountant
Yup,
and lawyer for sure,
That's
for
it,
yup,
sure.
man. That's it.
It,
yup.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I never was mad about having like a lawyer on retainer. Never been mad about having an accountant on retainer. Both
Right.
save you
Yeah.
money. Both save you headache. Both save you get you out of trouble.
For sure.
Yeah. And Kev, not just to say like, I mean, maybe someone listening to this is like, well, I don't got the money yet. You don't got to have money. You can go build a relationship with them. You know, go meet them. Say, yo, let me get you some coffee. Let me talk to you on the side when you got some time. You know, just say I'm looking for lawyers. I want to just build a relationship with them. At least you'll know what services they provide, and you'll be educated to know when the time is right who you're gonna go to. Because at least they'll know a little bit about you, what you're doing, all that stuff. You don't even really got to go out there and throw retainers up and everything like that. Yeah, I know a lot of accountants and lawyers want retainers, but let them know you're shopping around, you're looking for it like you're the dating game, you know, and you're just looking for someone that's you know that can speak your language, help you understand, and when the time is right, you know that you'll know who to call and who to help you out with.
Gotta ask a question. Off. Oh my god, my voice. Yo, do you parlay any? Cause I seen you got some followers that play in the league. Is that allowed with you being in the CFL? Can you bet on other leagues?
So with that, bro, we're not like legally within the league allowed to bet on games. You know what I mean in Canada, and I think it's the same in the NFL too. I think somebody just got pinned for that. Somebody just got suspended for it recently. I think it was a couple years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
They had
really.
got suspended for betting on the game, and they weren't even playing in the game. But they yeah, they're pretty strict on that. They don't really like that, like you betting on the games and stuff like that. So I'm not much of a sports bettor myself.
Heard you.
TJ, you big
Well,
into betting?
Yeah, man, we gamble here, man. Come to Maryland,
Yeah,
man. We gamble.
yeah. See, I'm a
But I
terrible
know,
gambler,
like,
bro. I've been to the casino, like probably a handful of times. I always lose bread, so I know my strengths and weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a gambler like that. So
I just heard for some. I'm not a big gambler either. I just heard that NHL gambling is really lucrative.
and I know a few of my friends actually.
shots on goal. That's what they be betting on.
Yeah, I know a few of my friends actually glow goat. He when he puts his parlays together, sometimes it's like some NHL stuff. So, but he's
yeah,
real good at baseball.
yeah,
His baseball parlays have been really good. But
yeah.
yeah, it's about to be legal in Maryland. So like we right now, you gotta travel really to just go place bets. But like when it's legal
Right.
in Maryland, I can't wait.
Can I tell you how you
Yeah,
can
but I
bet
just
right
had to
now
ask.
without it having to be legal? So
Huh?
there's a crypto wallet called Exodus. Everybody should have Exodus anyways. And Exodus just announced
You
on
you
their
you putting your name on
decentralized
Exodus?
wallet, Exodus, yep.
Okay?
Exodus. You can do sports betting now on Exodus with crypto and it doesn't matter where you are.
Mic
Give
drop.
me the fiat.
But you can do it you can do it with the stablecoin. You
Hey,
don't got to do it like with like an
Oh,
actual
true, true.
Bitcoin. You can just put in USDC, get paid out on USDC. It's all decentralized. They don't know your name. They don't know where you're at. They don't know what's going on, and you're going on there, and they're doing sports betting on it.
I will. I'll ask this though, cause I don't want you to think like I don't buy crypto. I do. It's just that it's a bear market. It's funny to make these jokes.
Yeah,
But so with the right situation, to DK's point, if you had the right leverage, also I was gonna say when you just talking about leverage in the music business now, DK mentioned it. Oh, you're not viral. You're not this. So if you got I feel like if you have a pop in Instagram, you could get a record deal in my head.
yeah.
So if the right situation comes to you guys and the numbers thrown out there, you guys taking any in crypto or we taking it in fiat? It's a bear market, so what we doing?
Yeah.
Ooh.
The answer right now, bro. The answer
that's
right now,
side.
everybody knows this, bro. The answer would be if it was crypto, it'd be a stable coin.
Yeah,
It
it would
wouldn't
have to be a stable
It
coin
would.
right
It
now.
wouldn't be. It wouldn't be nothing. Just so you know, bro. I cashed out all my crypto. Everybody I know that's made a lot of money in crypto has cashed out back last November. So if you are still holding coins right now, you are in a scary, crazy time. It's like if you're holding stocks right now. I heard people were even talking about their 401k because of the rise and fall of it or something like that because of the
Yeah,
economy.
yeah. Yeah, it's
It
down
really
like
has
something
to
down
grow.
like even stocks. If your portfolio is down probably like 20 to 28%, sometimes more.
Shit like
Yeah.
33.
Yeah, yeah, it's down bad. It's down bad. But just
Yeah.
me, I
So cash
I don't
is
know. I'm
king,
too
man.
lazy, man.
Cash
I'm
is
too
king.
lazy. I'll just DOS. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
just
but to
Well,
answer the
I was
question,
wondering. Well,
people
I
have to
think
be
he made a
skeptical.
good point for
just gotta
people.
get old.
I think he made a good.
You just gotta get old.
I think he made it a good point for people who's made a lot of money, like in it. Like me, I didn't really make a whole bunch in it, so like, me, it makes more sense for me to just dollar cost average into my positions right now. For me and me being lazy, I'm not rotating to no stable coins. I'm not doing nothing fancy. I'm too
Yeah.
lazy. I'll just if it go to zero. Hey, I learned the lesson. I learned
That's the
it.
thing. That's the thing, though. You only got to invest with the money that you're okay with losing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You can't be putting in your life savings and then be like, oh shit,
Man, I'm
I
not
lost
okay with losing none of it. I'm
Bro, you
not
don't want
okay
to.
losing none of it.
You don't want to lose anything, but if you do, you know what I mean. You want to be
Yeah.
losing money that you are all right with losing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, Kev, you just need a couple good homies, man. I got you for now, man. I'm gonna start texting you, yo, bro, get in, get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's
start,
see,
let you know.
that's like I was actually listening to it was funny on the way here. I was definitely set tripping. I was listening to another podcast, man. I hate to say it, listening to another podcast, and it was investors like this guy that runs like a $400 billion private equity firm, and he was.
Is this Ian?
I think so.
Oh my
Older
god.
white dude.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about.
Oh no, not him. But,
Oh,
he
okay.
was, that was Marky Mondays. So I was listening to them, and the guy who actually said that, like I said, he runs this $400 billion firm. And one of the guy, they asked him really like, what should retail investors do? And like, older white guys are hilarious. He's like, I mean, if you're not investing full time, you shouldn't be doing it. Basically, like
Right.
you don't have the time to read or to do the research. Look into these new stocks, look into management teams, and really do your full research. He said for like retail investors, his best advice really was kind of something me and TJ always say, like, man, just get your index funds, get you some ETFs, get you some blue chips, and just chill. As far as looking for the get rich, quick stock, it probably isn't gonna work out for you, especially if you're a retail investor. So that's funny you say that, like, but yeah, man, I'll give you my number, man. You text me, you know what I'm saying? How do we get access to the so the people can know, is there a way we could get access to the kind of the course that we was talking about earlier? Is there a link that people could get?
Yeah, so we've got a website. It's just getting refreshed right now because we're about to add more courses, you guys. So this year, because of the bear market, we're really teaching trading, the basics of crypto, understanding and everything. And we added e-commerce, Airbnb, Turo, and I think we're going to add some more courses on there for other ways to make money. So if you just don't want to do investing, there's more than we can provide. The academy is called Teach, Train, Trade. We got an IG and a website called teachtraintrade.com. And then you could also follow Turbo, DK, myself. I'm the business _business _boss on IG, and I made myself private because there's people impersonating me, you guys, because they were using my name.
That's how you know you big time. Once you get the imposters, that's when you know.
Bro, I had probably about 4, 5, 6 fake accounts following. I'm like, bro, you made another Instagram? He's like, bro, that's not me, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this guy get more fake accounts than me.
That's crazy. But what you doing sounds dope. But I'll shoot. Me and him both are Toro hosts, but we gotta get out there, man. If y'all hosting any events or whatever, but I sound like I can't stay too long because I don't like the way y'all taxing out there. So,
Yeah. Well, honestly,
But, yeah,
man, taxes out here is really cool, and I'll tell you this: over the last 2 years, I also learned, the Canadian government, bro. I'll give you a little tidbit of why the Canadian government is really cool right now for anybody that's invested in crypto, and maybe some people that weren't thinking about crypto to get into crypto to be able to wash some money out in the right way. the Canadian government actually had admitted that they don't know how to tax people in Canada about crypto. In the United States, the accountants now are asking people, do you own any crypto? And they're actually getting it in your filing of your taxes. So
Yeah.
that's a big game changer, because that's a negative towards people that are making money, because now you're really taking money from them, okay?
Right.
But now, for example, in Canada, the Canadian government says, well, we don't know how to do that. We don't know how to ask anybody this. So here's what we need you guys to do. Until you made money in crypto, and even if you made money, until you cashed it back into Canadian dollars and put it in your bank, like until it touched your bank, it is not taxable. So in that case, it then turns into a capital gains. Well, there's a website, you guys, and I'm going to drop this right now for this podcast so you guys, anybody listening, can get super value. It's called bitrefill.com. Bitrefill.com is a website where anywhere you are in the world, you can go to and spend your crypto to buy anything you want. Food, gas, pay for your bills. You can do your home renovations. You can buy an airplane. You can book a hotel. You can go to Saks Fifth Avenue, Nordstrom, Nike. You can go on to Amazon.
This is Bitrefill?
Yeah, bitrefill.com. And, man, they owe us a check for saying that, eh? Right there. That website right there, bro. That website right there, bro. As far as being a Canadian, I never had to pay taxes on a lot of the crypto that I made, because technically I made it, but then I lost it by spending it on a crypto.
Hey, no wonder that Canadian over there does all that gambling on stake. No wonder he does all that gambling on stake. But nah, it's definitely been a pleasure talking to all three of y'all, man. Like I said, maybe we could get out there if you guys doing an event. I'd love for you to send me all that information so we can make sure we put all of that in that YouTube bio. Is football season still going on for you?
Nah, we just ended probably about 3 weeks ago, bro. So we just ended the season.
Okay, all right. Well, good luck in the off season, man, with your training and stuff. Hopefully, we tap in and talk a little bit more. DK, appreciate you, man. Keep Turbo
Much
out of
love,
the clubs because it's off season. He might be spending, buying Birkins and stuff.
Yeah, I already know what it is.
But you got anything to add?
Nah, thanks for popping out. It's real short notice, so thank you guys for coming through.
For sure, man. Thank you guys for having us. We appreciate the opportunity for sure, man.
Only bands.